Welcome everyone to Winter Streak Wellness Program Workshop number 2, creating a winter wellness inventory. I am so excited to see everybody back. If you would be kind enough to put your first and last name in the chat, that's how we'll record attendance. If you did that before I started recording, go ahead and do it again. We can only pick it up once the recording has started. So again, first and last name in the chat, that would be much appreciated. And as I said a moment ago, there was a handout that was emailed out earlier this morning. If you didn't receive it, don't panic. Everything that was on that handout will be on the slides, so you'll be fine. A piece of paper, pencil, pen would be all you'd need tonight. All right, next slide, please. My name is Kim Kreider. I'm a community health coordinator, health educator out of Franklin County, based out of Chambersburg. I am excited to build on the workshop 1% Better that Sandy taught a couple of weeks ago. And we'll go ahead and dive right in. Sandy, if you could again. Thank you. So right out of the gate, we're going to start with just a little bit of a relaxation exercise, just some breathing. I want to make sure that we are taking a moment to honor the time that we've carved out with ourselves and give ourselves, 3 breaths to relax just a little bit, so we're able to focus a little more easily and be ready to get to some good insight as we go through this next exercise. So you could close the eyes, leave the eyes open, whatever works for you. We're just going to take 3 nice deep breaths. So when you're ready to inhale again, take a nice deep inhale, inhaling, blowing the belly up with air, filling up the lungs, big deep inhale, and then a nice long, slow exhale right out the nose. One more. Let's take one more nice big inhale, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. And then out of the nose, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. And one more deep breath, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. Fill up that belly, deepest breath you've taken all day. And then this time, sigh the breath right out of the mouth. Nice, long, slow exhale. And then if your eyes are closed, go ahead and bat the eyelashes open, take a soft gaze, or bring your soft gaze back into the room. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. So tonight we're going to be exploring 4 parts of our life. A couple of weeks ago, if you watched the recording or were at the live workshop, Sandy talked to us when we came together about getting 1% better. So choosing a positive habit and creating a small positive change. And then when that change becomes a habit, we added another 1% change. And then we just continue that habit stacking. So today, we're going to work on breaking down those 4 areas of your life that you see: body, mind, emotions, and community. And we're going to look for where we might have opportunities to create those tiny steps. 2 weeks ago, you may have created a goal that you wanted to work on that is too big to tackle, and you need to break it down into some smaller chunks. Or maybe you had a goal that was too easy and you're looking for something to add to that. So as we move forward, you're welcome to just listen, but I encourage you to put pen to paper and write down your responses to have the greatest impact. And again, I'll be sharing my screen. So if you didn't print the handout or didn't receive it, that's okay. I'll have everything you need on the screen. So you can go ahead and go through the next slide. Before we dive in to some of this work, we'll be looking at some strengths and challenges with those 4 areas. I want to remind us all that if you are breathing, there is more right with you than there is wrong with you. You are valuable just as you are. So as we go forward, I want you to remember that it's easy to get caught up in some negative self-talk. And I want to just bring this reminder to you, and I'll do my best to remind us of this as we go through the next 30 minutes. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. So we're going to start with the body. So what we want to start with first is identify some things about your body that you're very happy about, or you're very grateful that a body part or your body in general is meeting your needs. So for instance, it could be a part of your body like, I like the way my legs are strong enough to carry me through a very busy day. Or maybe it's a whole body experience. Like, I like jogging in the morning through the park and my body helps me do that. So what things are going right with your body today? I encourage you not to overthink it. And also remind you there are no right or wrong answers. And so we're just looking for three things. And as I move along, if you are still thinking through something, or you've only thought of one thing instead of three, I encourage you to come back to this exercise, set up a time to come back and complete it, either maybe right after the workshop or at another point in your evening or day or week. But set up an appointment with yourself to do that. And I think you'll be happy that you did. It'll help build on what you did a couple of weeks ago. So now let's move on to what we want to add. So we've listed some strengths. We've listed some things about our body that we like and enjoy. So now we want to add to that. So what are some strengths you want to add to that list of what's working? So what are some things maybe you don't love about your body right now, but with a little bit of effort and a little bit of support from somebody, you could make a small change? So who do you want to become? Maybe you want to become a healthy snacker, or maybe you want to become somebody who practices yoga for the first time or a couple of times a week. Or maybe you want to be a 5-time-a-week walker. So who do you want to become? Maybe another way to help frame this. And I also encourage you as we go along to use kind language as you think and write about yourself. And as we're moving forward, as if there are things that you don't love right now about how your body, mind, emotions, community are doing, or how you're feeling, but let's say in about 3 months, it could change if we started doing something different. I'm trying to give you some prompts to help spark some thinking. So now look at the list of 3 things that you just wrote, those list of things you want to add to the strengths. And I want you to identify 3 tiny steps you can take towards making that goal. So if you're walking maybe 1 day a week and you want to walk 5, maybe your next step is to add a day and put that on your calendar. Or maybe it's putting your shoes right by the front door. So as soon as you come home from work, that's your reminder that you're going right out for a walk before you do anything else. So tiny steps that you can take. Maybe you've been putting off, an annual physical or some sort of checkup, and your tiny step is to make that appointment tomorrow or look at your schedule. So now we have 3 strengths, 3 things that we want to work on, 3 tiny goals to help us achieve those three things. And now I want you to look at what may be one of the harder parts, and that is what human being or human beings will help you accomplish those goals. So if this feels difficult to you, that's okay. Put down as many people as you can think of. Don't include yourself. These need to be beings external to you. And these would be people you would feel comfortable calling or texting or talking to. They may be somebody you have a relationship with, or maybe it's somebody that they're more of an accountability partner. You're just sharing a goal. Hey, I met this goal this week or today, or maybe I didn't meet this goal this week. And if you're struggling to come up with helpers, when we get to the community area of focus, you can write that as something that you want to work on is, you know, being more connected or building a circle of support. So we'll have opportunities to work through that. So again, if you're not finished as we move into the next area of focus, just make a note of it, or maybe put an asterisk or something so you remember to come back to it. And we're going to move on to the mind. So when we're thinking about the mind, what is your mind doing right now that nurtures your well-being? How are you using your mind to make your life better? Maybe you're thinking before you speak, or maybe you're practicing breathing like we just did, or some meditation or mindfulness. Maybe you're working on negative self-talk. Maybe you're you know, reading or something that helps nourish your mind. Again, no right or wrong answers here. So now let's move into that next section. Thinking about some things you'd like to start doing with your mind that you aren't currently doing, or maybe some things you want to stop doing that you're doing now. So maybe your negative self-talk has gotten out of control, or you're really hard on yourself. So again, who do you want to become here? I want to become someone who speaks kindly to myself. I want to be someone who practices meditation, or I want to be someone who practices taking deep breaths to relax my mind or focus my mind. So what's a habit of the mind you can start doing that can foster your well-being? And so now here again, we're looking for who are the people that can support you. It may be the same list, it may not, but identify those helpers. Maybe it's someone you've lost touch with, or maybe it's you want to strengthen a relationship that's grown weaker. Maybe it's a strong relationship already and you want to intensify that relationship by bringing some of this connection and accountability for yourself, and probably would end up for them as well. So for the mind, we have 3 strengths. We have 3 things we want to work on. We have 3 tiny steps we could take to start working on those things. And we've identified some helpers for support to get those things done. So we're going to move on to emotions. And so think about, what way are your emotions functioning well for you? How are your emotions doing their job of letting you express yourself in a healthy way? How is your expression of emotion nourishing a sense of positive well-being? Who do you want to become? I want to be a calm person, or I want to be a joyful person, or I want to be a peaceful person, a loving person. And again, no right or wrong answers. These are just ideas that may spark your own set of ideas. And now when it comes to our emotions, what could be better? What do you wish was going a little better emotionally for you? Or look at it through the lens of how are your emotions maybe getting the best of you at times, and it's getting in your way. And then let's move to those tiny strategies or those very doable little tiny tasks that you can start working on that would help make those three things better. And maybe it's, downloading a meditation app, or maybe it's listening to a podcast or reading a book on managing your emotions, or maybe it's talking to a friend to help process some emotions. Again, no right or wrong answers. And now for each of those goals, identify someone who's going to help you. And maybe think of it like, as soon as this workshop is over, who would you feel comfortable calling or texting and saying, hey, I just finished this workshop and doing a well-being inventory, and I decided that when I'm feeling angry or maybe low or life's unfair, that I'm going to send you a text. Is that okay? Or maybe it's an advance plan that you work on with your support person or people, where maybe every Saturday morning around 10 a.m. you're feeling not your best. Maybe you're feeling low on a Saturday morning after busy or trying work week, and you make an advance plan to take a walk with a friend at 10 a.m. And next slide, please. And sorry, Sandy, I think I've been relying on you to change the slides without any prompts, so thank you. So we'll move along to community. When you're thinking about community, this is fairly broad. So I want to give you some opportunity to think through how you want to approach this. It could be relationships like, parenting skills, or maybe your significant other. Maybe it's more of your spiritual life, your work life, a volunteer life. However you want to look at community, I'd encourage you to do that, whatever makes sense for you right now. So within that realm of community, however you're defining it, what's going right? What brings you joy? What nourishes you and makes you feel better? And then we'll move down to what could be better. What are three things that you want to add to that strength list? So, and this is a great moment if you've had trouble coming up with helpers. One of your things you might want to work on is start expanding that circle of people. So who do you want to become? I want to be more a person more connected to my friends, or more connected to my family, or more connected to service through volunteer. Again, lots of ways you could look at this. And then what are some tiny steps that you can take to address what could be better? So if you're trying to expand that, your circle of support, maybe you look at virtual interest groups, like, a craft that you enjoy, or a book group on, Facebook. Maybe you go through your phone and look for people you haven't talked to in a long time, or maybe you find a high school friend or an old coworker that you really would love to reconnect with. So looking for ways to create that circle of support. And then again, we want to list those helpers. So who can help you make these tiny steps as you think about what could be better in your community area of your life? So now, and it might not be all the way filled out, and that's okay. You're going to make time to come back to it. I'll invite you to take a minute right now and think about when that's going to be. If you want to come back to this, either right after the workshop, or maybe right before bed, or first thing in the morning, but set up a time with yourself to, because you are worth coming back to this and making sure that you take the time for the self-care. But now, right in front of you, you have 4 sets of tiny, doable goals. And I'm going to invite you to place an order on this list. I'm going to suggest that you pick the easiest thing. So that would be something you can get done, and you have a helper to help you. And I would put a little star by it and know that that's what you're going to work on first. And then what I'd like to also invite you to do, well, here, I'll come back to that. We're going to, if you want to go to the next slide, Sandy. We're going to take just about 5 minutes, and maybe a little less. And we're going to work on a guided meditation. So if you take a moment to get yourself comfortable in your chair, or maybe you bring yourself down onto the floor, whatever you'd like to do, I'll invite you to sit back in your chair, put your feet flat on the floor. If you're seated, you can cup the hands in your lap, or maybe you relax your arms on the arms of your chair. You want to sit up in or be on your back in a comfortable position, but with a spine straight enough, but relaxed enough that you can take nice deep breaths. So we'll start with 1 deep breath, breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. And then you can close the eyes or take a soft gaze. No need to do a thing other than follow the sound of my voice. Just turn your attention to your scalp and allow your scalp to release or relax. And draw the attention down to the ears and the area around the ears. And let that area release. And then gently sweep your attention up to the forehead. And allow the forehead and the brow to unwrinkle and smooth out. And those sweet, sweet eyes and the area around the eyes softens. The cheeks grow heavy. And maybe you unclench the jaw. Allow the tongue to rest heavy at the bottom of the mouth. Or if you're lying on your back, maybe the root of the tongue falls down the back of the throat, parting the lips slightly, letting the whole head relaxes and releases. The neck and the shoulders soften and let go. Upper arms and the elbows, the lower arms and the wrists, palms of the hands, backs of the hands and fingers grow heavy and weighted. The chest, the upper back, the waist, the belly, the lower back. Lets go, releases. Pelvis, hips, and bottom grow heavy on the floor or in the chair. Upper legs and the knees, lower legs and the ankles, heels, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, toes. Completely let go and relax. The whole body grows more peaceful, more at ease, softer with each gentle breath. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. And begin to wiggle fingers and toes, bringing just small, gentle movement back into the body. And I invite you to take a moment to practice gratitude, giving thanks for whatever speaks to you right at this moment. And I'll also invite you, if you're feeling able, to let the smallest of smiles curl the outer edges of the mouth. And taking notice of how just a brief moment of gratitude and a smile has the potential to change your outlook on the day. And if the eyes are closed, I invite you to bat the eyelashes open. And if the gaze is soft, you can bring the gaze fully back into the room. And next slide, please, Sandy. And so for more Winter Streak resources, the workshop links, you can register for our biweekly email. You would go to winterstreak.org. I'm going to invite everyone on the call to send me one of your tiny goals along with a helper, and that you don't have to name the helper. It could be, mom, dad, sister, that kind of thing, and why that goal is going to be impactful for you. It's one thing to write it down. It's another thing to share it. It's another step toward accountability. So my email's on the screen. It's kkreider2@wellspan.org. And next slide, please, Sandy. And so just a brief reminder, if you have not put your first and last name in the chat, go ahead and do that now. That's how we're going to track attendance. And I wanted to make you aware of some additional classes that are upcoming. Prevent T2 is a CDC recognized class. So if you've been diagnosed with prediabetes or you have blood sugar or A1C numbers that are pre-diabetic, you can register for this Prevent T2 class. You can find that on Winter Streak. And then Yoga for a Healthy Heart on the 17th and the 22nd. We'll be sending out those links. You can find that on the WellSpan website, but we'll send out the links in the bi-weekly email as well. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. That concludes our workshop for this evening. We will have the recording ready in the next day or two. It will be up on the winterstreak.org website. We will also email all of you the recording, and but certainly if you don't get that, email me and we'll make sure that you get it. So we are at 6:01, but I'm certainly happy to take any questions should there be any. You are quite welcome. Well, with that, I will let you all get back to, oh, good to see you too, Michelle. I will let you all get back to creating a restful and relaxing evening. And I look forward to hearing from you with your goals and helpers. So take care, make it a great night, and we'll see you at the next workshop. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.